Let's see here. There we go.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay. I'm far away. Where are you?
I am just Indiana, Indiana, USA.
My little
Rolling
boy
through.
called Indiana.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of irrelevant in the context of what's going on, but
That's,
you can't help with your children.
yeah, that's right.
So how do I say your last name?
DePauw.
DePauw. Right. Well,
Yeah.
for the purposes of anyone listening, um, Derek DePauw is one of the American truck drivers who is on his way to Washington, D.C. He's left today. He's left his
Uh,
family behind, his
no,
loved
that's
ones.
we don't leave until March. Our convoy in particular doesn't leave until March.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
difficult to sort of pin down specifics sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sort of dealing with sort of messengers and things like that. Okay, then that's exciting though. It's tomorrow.
We leave. I'll be leaving North Dakota on March 3rd with a convoy. We will arrive in DC on March 7th. There is another convoy that is preparing to leave tomorrow morning out of
Oh,
California.
and how are you all feeling?
Excited and gonna enjoy it.
And what preparation goes into this mammoth expedition?
A lot. Everything from supplies, security, nutrition, everything. Logistics, everything is a big undertaking for the whole nation.
Massive. And can I just ask, you will be derided in the mainstream media as a misogynist and a racist, and oh my
I'm
goodness,
already
yes.
I'm already
Oh,
being told I'm a terrorist, so that's
oh
okay.
my. Well, do you know, you just leapt right over those ones and straight to the top, you know? If you're going to
Why
do
not?
it properly. Uh-huh. We laugh because where else can you go with that? How do you actually
That's
sort
right.
of feel about all of that? I know it's a big question, but even something.
Doesn't bother me one bit. The media and whoever wishes, they are welcome to feel and think however they like.
Mhm.
They have the freedom to do. They have the freedom to do that, and that's what we are fighting for: is the freedom. So I accept it. I admit I don't agree with it, but I will accept it, and I will fight for their right to do so.
Mhm. Bless you, sweetheart. That's lovely and true. And everything that we are all trying to achieve here, just for people
Yep,
to have choice.
that's
Um,
right.
would you give me a little bit of background about how you personally found yourself in this position where you are, doing this?
Well, I'm not. My life actually never really changed when COVID
Mhm.
hit
Mhm.
around here in my area. I still kept working. I have my own company. Things kept rolling.
Mhm.
Um, sure we had the kids home from school, but
Mhm.
that was probably for the best anyways.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but but other than that, my life never really changed. I just kept living the way I wanted, and that was that. But the main reason why I pushed forward to proceed with this was because the last thing I want is my children growing up in a country where tyranny is the new normal, and that is not going to happen. I have no, yeah, like I said, I may not live to see it, but I want them to make sure that they have a life that's worth living.
I really, really feel that. I really believe what you're saying is everything good and right. I don't understand what's happened. I am very shocked, stunned, saddened, all these things,
Yep.
what happened? What happened to America?
I have the same question. I'm originally from Canada. I left Canada to live in the U.S. I've been watching Canada. Well, I've been down here for 17 years. And I would never go back. There's a lot of things before all of this that have happened and such that I would never want to go back to Canada for. Um, and what I just left one socialist nation for a dictator. That's not going to happen. I'm not. I won't put up with it.
your options are not very good, you know,
Not
Canada
at the
or
moment.
America at the moment. I'm really, you can see this is my living room. My children are
Yep.
home educated as well. They're home with you know, well, with me too. And I feel like one of the important things that's happening here, one of the things that for us to hold on to, is this connection, this sort of this rising. Here you are in your truck in Indiana, talking to me in my small humble abode somewhere in Scotland. You know,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
this is precious, and this is powerful, and we must continue to raise this vibration.
Yes, I agree.
And I didn't used to say things like raise the vibration before the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've learned?
There's a lot we've learned over the last 3 to 5 years of how things are progressing and where things have gone since I even moved down to the States. And obviously, there's a lot more to it than just that. But
Mhm.
yeah, we are definitely learning what life is, where things are going.
And also kind of what really matters.
That's right.
It's again, looking at it, you sort of think, what good can we take out of this? And one of the things that sort of comes to me is that I don't think I really did realize, as I do now, what really matters. I don't
That's
want to
correct.
continue to have to live like this in order to, I have the realization I would like to go back so I can appreciate it. Um, is that also, does that chime with you?
Absolutely, I agree.
Um, well, do you know what, my friend? Apart from the awkward bit where I had no idea when you were leaving and stuff, I think this
That's
has
okay.
been a really beautiful interaction. I would really like it if it were agreeable to you to speak again, you know, maybe in a week or two or a couple of days, depending on how things are going. Could you tell me how long it's going to take you to get there from where you are actually?
Well, from North Dakota, I leave on the 3rd, and we arrive in DC on the 7th. So
Okay,
this take
all
a few
right.
days.
Okay. And presumably other people who are planning to be there at the same time are leaving sooner if they are further away.
Right. Yeah, they're going to be. We've got people on the West Coast because North Dakota is only it's central, right in the center of the country.
Okay.
So the West Coast is leaving on the 1st
Mm-hmm.
of March, and we'll all kind of uh, collide with each other and merge with each other on the highways on the way out. So we'll all be arriving on the 7th all together.
I'm, I can't tell you, do you know, it's going to be so emotional. I thought the Canadian truckers were the only time that I was going to be like in love with long haul trucks. But you know, who thought that you know the truck drivers would save the world? But this is what's happening here, and it's beautiful and wonderful.
Yes, it is.
Mm, go the truck drivers, man.
Yeah.
Do you know that just the level of authenticity, sincerity, intelligence, humanity that we have heard from people fighting this fight so far? I mean,
Yeah.
and I hear it in you. If I would let you speak, I hear it
Uh,
in you.
yeah. I've heard that there's a lot of activity going over on your side of the pond as well.
Well, do you know, other restrictions have been dropped in England. I'm not in England, I'm in Scotland. There's four
Yeah.
devolved kind of parliaments. So what's happening in one isn't necessarily happening in the other. However, Nicola Sturgeon, who's the First Minister of Scotland, today apparently announced that restrictions regarding masks and can't remember what the other one was, are being eased out or something. Um,
Yeah.
Boris, you know, the internal scuttlebutt is that Boris Johnson down south has dropped the restrictions because he is being pursued both in the International Criminal Court and in England through you know the police system there for crimes against humanity and culpable homicide of some nature. You know, um,
Really?
there are
you guys have been fighting with your trucks. I think it's almost interesting culturally that in England they have been fighting with their lawyers. And it's beautiful. It's all got to come together. You know, I don't know. I don't know if you have heard of Anna de Bussiere. I can't say her name properly. Forgive me, Anna. She has been, you know, pursuing the legal case in England with a team of other lawyers. For, you know, they've been compiling evidence and information for over a year now, and now they have gone in. They have a crime number, and their case is being investigated by the police. And they say there's too much evidence for it to go anywhere other than through the system. There are other people, the likes of Mike Yeadon. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he is like the ex-CEO of Pfizer. He, together with Rainer Fulmich, again, goodness knows if I've got their names right. I do apologize. Mike, I'm probably right with. They are pursuing things through the International Criminal Court and the grand jury of public opinion. So over here, we are trying, things have been dropped, but nobody believes it. Do you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about you? What do you hear over there about us? Do you hear anything really?
Well, I've heard a little bit about there being a couple of convoys in places like India and Austria and places like that. I think there was another convoy. I don't know if it was France.
Yeah, they went to Paris, man.
Yeah, okay. But I heard that England dropped, but I didn't realize why. I actually really like that idea of doing international criminal court. I think that should be held against Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden, both.
Oh, for sure. I believe there are some Americans cited in it. I'm not going to say the names. I'll say the names next time that we meet, just in case I have them wrong. But there are Americans high up in your, you know, government, that very high up in your government, and very public and very high profiled in your government, that are being pursued. Are there any lower grade sort of prosecutions being pursued that you're aware of?
Not yet that I'm aware of. What I would love to see is, once all the dust settles, anyone who has been coerced or forced into taking the jab in order to keep their job, their livelihood, or anything like that, I think those companies, every single last one of them, need to be legally and financially responsible for life, for the rest of these people's lives, any medical conditions that come up, and pay them for the rest of their lives, because this is a permanent situation. This is a permanent medical condition now. This is not just, okay, do this and, you know, this, and then we're done. It's not a temporary issue. This is permanent, lifelong. Those companies should be prosecuted and forced to pay out for every person that they forced into doing this.
Absolutely. And at the moment they have complete sort of financial immunity for any kind of injury. And in America, it's particularly bad because you don't have the NHS. So
no.
I know a lady called Angelia Gibson DeSalle. She is one of the first people to become vaccine injured, and she well, I mean, I say one of the first. She took the jab early on, and her vaccine injury emerged very quickly thereafter. So she must be one of the first who, you know, who was vaccine injured. And I connected with her because of what you're talking about. Her son put videos on Facebook of her. He was concerned about her. She was shaking. She was intermittently basically unable to walk, or you know, there was some kind of fitting going on. And it was clearly, you know, it was so soon after what happened. She now has her verification from the CDC that she is acknowledged to be vaccine injured. That took months to get that. But the thing that really drew me into her plight was that there was no restitution. There was no apology.
Nope. And there never will be.
There will be, because of you guys. Just, we have to believe that. Because she's lost her job. What you said. She can't
Yep.
drive. She has lost something she worked really hard for. When you talk to her about her job, you can tell that, you know, she put in the hours. She was some kind of managerial position within a health clinic. She got jammed because, you know, she was one of the first, because, you know, she was although not a doctor, she was in an environment where doctors and patients were all passing through, and there was like a moral imperative, you know, that she go ahead and do this, and she did it out of altruism. And then the only people supporting her to get restitution were people who hadn't done it and didn't think it was
Right.
a good idea in the first place.
Right.
So you're right. That is a really, really important thing that, you know, needs to come about after you guys save the world. Yeah.
I won't go that far, but yeah, no, you're right. It definitely is something that needs to be addressed, and harshly.
And I am going to leave you because I want to keep these videos brief enough that people feel like they're getting a snippet, and then if you will and you're willing, we'll do it again, and maybe they'll evolve. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But do you have a word for the Canadians? Have you been watching what's been happening with them? You're a Canadian.
Very, very, very much so. I have been paying very close attention to it, and with everything going on, when we get done here in the U.S., we're coming to save them too. We're coming straight to them. I've got plans in place, and all the people I need to make it happen. We're coming to help.
They need you. They
Yes,
are
they do.
really, really, they can't leave the country if they're unvaccinated. So the only way for them to get away from this would be to flee.
Yeah, well,
You
I
know,
know that I know there's one I think it's Congresswoman, a government official out of Nevada, the state of Nevada.
2 seconds. I
That,
need to let my cat in. He's
okay.
meowing.
Yep.
Sorry, sorry. That is the
That's okay.
reality of actual real people communicating with each other. Carry on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nevada.
That's all right. Yeah, Nevada there, and she is putting together a bill to put in front of Congress to allow any trucker in Canada right now to have safe asylum or temporary safe asylum in the United States until everything is settled over.
Is that something that has the prospect of coming to fruition? I know you don't know, but I mean, what is
Yeah,
your sense? Is that is it?
I we're so divided down here that I think it's going to be very tough to get it to pass. There's a lot of people in government that don't care about what they're doing down here, let alone what they're doing in Canada. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But all I can say is, even if that doesn't work, like I said, we've got plans.
They need to hear that. I have connected with so many lovely Canadians throughout the last literally week or
Yep.
so. And they need to hear what you just said there. So I'm gonna love you and leave you, and love, you know, to your family, to your friends, to everybody that you care about, and even everybody that you don't care about, you know, one world.
Yep, that's right.
So thank you. I'll speak to you again. Yeah.
Yes,
Take
ma'am.
care. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
If I can figure out how to get out, there's the end button. Au revoir.